Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Hey, yo, y'all know me, Pops Van Zant from the Madness Comic Network. The Madness Comic Network coming to Roku. You can check out our preview channel right there, right now. Look, we're bringing all of our content to Roku. I'm excited. You should be too. A shout out to Hart Fisher at the American Horror Channel, baby. Woo! You know what's up.
Welcome to Mobamals, Mafia Animals Poker Playing Cards. Make 100, where real-life mobsters meet the wild side. Let's dive into the intriguing world of this unique deck. Meet Carmine the Snake Persico and Vincent Mad Dog Call, real-life mobsters with fascinating stories. Mobamals takes these characters and transforms them into their animal nickname counterparts. Introducing a 55-card poker-sized deck featuring 52 of your favorite mobsters reimagined as animals. Each card is a dedication to a different real-life mobster, complete with their name, nickname, affiliation, and birth-death years. But that's not all. This limited edition print run includes exclusive items like poker chips, signed decks, whiskey glasses, challenge coins, and even handmade Mobamal plushies. Don't miss your chance to be part of this limited edition experience. Back Mobamals, Mafia Animals Poker Playing Cards. Make 100 on Kickstarter now. Let's bring these mobster animals to life together.
writer anyway. Do a comic book? No, that's not it. Is it this? What the heck is Path of the Pale Rider, man? There's no way this is right. How about this? I have no idea.
We can rob a bank.
Oh, it's this.
The Madness Comic Network and comic-related madness proudly presents Madness Tuesday Morning Brew. Tune in to our content on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube.
Well, good morning. Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to see you on this Tuesday morning, and I hope you brought your coffee. Actually, today, I hope you brought some tea because our guest is again from across the pond. I love it. I love it. But first, some quick updates on Path of the Pale Rider. Issue 4 is done. Again, it went to Rachel, our editor. She got through everything. Matt is done with his fixes. Marco has like a couple more. I'm expecting to release the digital this week. So everybody should be able to read digitally what happened in the story this week. We're turning on the riddle. If you know what that means, you know what that means. So we're working on that so that the riddle is live. There's going to be, the riddle is really good. I challenge you guys to go solve the riddles if you haven't done it yet, because this is our 4th one and they just keep getting better. You actually get to interact with things, which is so cool. Anyway, yesterday I was very excited. We did a table read with the actors for the short film for number 4, our 4th short film. So we're actually going to pick up filming starting on Thursday. I have the drone charging. So we got a couple of drone shots, and then Sunday is a big shoot day. So I'm very excited to get that rolling. And again, I have actors this time, so I don't have to self-shoot, act, direct, edit, all of that. I'm very happy to just direct this time. So very exciting for you guys to see that. So that's coming. And then, yeah, I'm going to be at Texoma on the 24th and 25th of February. I'm going to be in Durant, Oklahoma with a ton of my besties. So Lacey Kruger, William Russell, Ken Salinas, let's see, Sam Vera, and George Medina is going to be there too, which is great. So he's actually going to be in town from New York. That'll be my first time meeting him, and it's very excited. I hope we can go out for some beer and wings with the whole group. Really going to be a lot of fun. What else? That's it. I think that's it for now. You guys have been following my social media. I've been binding books and painting undead bears, which is, I'm excited for those to go out. Everybody really liked those, but again, I got to remind people, you gotta pledge those secret rewards. That's where the good stuff is. So I usually don't make extra. I just make what people order on the secret rewards. I don't know. There's quite a bit of buzz around those, so we might make some more. We'll see. We'll see. Pushed a button. Just a reminder that the trade paperback, you can sign up for that to get notification when we go live. We're going to be launching this on February 26th. That's a Monday evening. And it's going to run for about 24 days, so until March 22nd. So we'll make sure you guys, you want to get in here for this too. I have pillow plushies. I have limited stuff on this that I didn't order a ton. So you want to get in there quick and grab your things. But I'm really excited for the trade paperback. So we got 50 people signed up. Would love to see that at 100, when we launch, but we're going to launch anyway, no matter what, you know what I mean? No matter how many followers we have. And that's all I got. So, Pops is popping in. You're going to need a bigger brush. Did you see that, Lou? I was painting that stupid thing with glue forever. And yes, I learned a ton just making one book. So I'm going to go do the other 3 and then hopefully have enough knowledge to do something cool for Path of the Pale Rider with those new skills. That is the goal. So I'm going to bring in our guest today. I just want to warn everybody, for some reason, StreamYard did an update and I can't see people on my end sometimes. You all will be able to see everybody just fine, but I get this weird like digital glitch from the camera, and it's just me, because this was going on when I was on Carissa's thing yesterday as well. So anyway, so if you see me like changing around the perspective, that's because I can't see Lucifer. But without further ado, let's bring in our, what is this? What is this? Skullhead? Skullhead?
Bring him in. Bring him in.
Okay.
Greetings and salutations, everyone. How the devil art thou?
Hi, how are you? Now I can't see you because Pops is here, so I got to remove Pops. There we go. See what I mean? Like for some reason, everybody, I can see Lucifer here, but I can't see him here. It's so odd. If you see me doing this, it's because I can't see people. I don't know, Pops. I don't know.
That's
Now
really
it's
weird.
like, huh?
That's really weird.
Yeah, like I can see
Try
you.
doing that one.
Do that one.
Does this one work?
I mean, it does. We could do the hokey pokey and turn ourselves around, because that's what that's kind of feel like what I feel like. I have to do is push all the buttons. New glasses, John. Really?
Well, I can't
Really?
tell what you can see or not, so it wouldn't do me any good to push buttons.
I already pushed all the buttons before you got here. I was like, Lucifer, hang on, and I pushed like every single button. And I was like, all right, these work. These ones specifically here. Also, good morning, Doc. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Doc. How the devil art thou?
I had to jump in real quick and let you know, Lucifer, as always, as soon as I found out you were going to be on the show, which was like yesterday. Nobody told me ahead of time, bro. Nobody told me ahead of time so I could do any kind of pre-promo or anything. But I just, I have to apologize to anybody who's in all those Facebook groups that I just spam this show to.
Why?
Sorry, not sorry. Y'all have a great show. Peace.
I was like, I don't apologize for that.
No, it's what you got to do, isn't it?
I mean, we do a podcast. I figure they want to watch it.
Well, yeah. Well, I hope so.
I would hope so. And if not, then they can just keep scrolling. But I mean, if they see us, then they're more likely to hang out with us, which is what we want. Lou, I feel you, dude. Zooming my eyes, cyborg Lou. Oh, my Lord. So right before we went live, Lucifer and I were catching up, and we were talking about, short films and filming. And he had told me this story where he got to be a zombie in an actual film. Well, they filmed it.
Yeah, they filmed it, but the movie, it never got released because as I was explaining to you before we started the show, back in the 80s and like the early 90s, sometimes in the area that I live in, you get the BBC come down, they'd film bits of like sitcoms. Like we had a sitcom over here called One Foot in the Grave. And a lot of what they shot for like the location stuff was actually done like around the corner from where I'm sat right now. And like when I was a kid, every now and then, like you go out with your parents for a walk and you just see this camera crew set up with the cars and everything. But that kind of stopped in the early 90s. They stopped doing that. They used different locations, different places. So it got to a point where you didn't really see film crews around here. So you weren't used to it. And then one day I picked up the local paper. I think this was about 2012, 2013. And there was an advertisement, Zombies Wanted. And I was like, that sounds like my jam.
Yeah.
So I got in touch with the guy and was sort of like, "Do you still need zombies?" And he was like, "Yeah, because we're about to start shooting, and all the zombies we had, they've all pulled out, so we need as many extras as possible to be zombies." And I thought it was going to be some guy with like his dad's video camera kind of thing,
Right.
but no, this is a proper film crew, proper lighting and everything. You had to sign all the NDAs and stuff like that. And I turned up, and they were like, do you know anyone that would want to be a zombie? It's like, let me think. A few friends who I think would definitely be up for it.
All
So
my friends.
yeah, I pretty much. I phoned up so many people and was like, "Do you want to be a zombie?" No, I'm not joking. This is serious. And so we had people turn up who were like, "Yeah, I'll be a zombie." Like some people could only do one day or whatever, but I got to do several days. And as I was filling out the forms and signing the NDA and all that, the director was like, "By the way, what do you do for a job?" I was like, "Well, I'm a comic book writer." And he was like, "Really?" Because this movie was called Convention of the Dead. So it was about a zombie outbreak at a comic book convention, and they needed people to play like guests at the comic book convention. So I was like, cool, give me an hour. I'll go get my stuff. Went down there and set everything up as if I was promoting my book that I was putting out at the time and all that. So I got to play myself on camera, just being me, but I also got to play zombie me as well, where there was one scene where I got to eat a fella called Big Ken, which was an experience. A very, very weird experience, you know. He was a nice chap.
I enjoy that kind of humor because I'm like, oh yeah, you got killed by Big James. So you always need a giant zombie named Big something.
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing is, he wasn't even meant to be a zombie extra. He was just like one of the sound guys who turned up and they're like, you still
like,
need
get in there. We're gonna pour some blood on you. Go.
Oh, it was amazing because whilst it's going on, the director was like, "Don't worry, I'll tell you what to do. Action. Eat.
So like, your job is to scream.
Yep.
That's all you gotta do.
And the whole thing,
scream.
The whole thing, it went through production absolutely fine. The whole thing got shot. I believe a trailer was made, but didn't really get released. And then a few months later, when it was meant to be in post-production, it all got cancelled. It all got shut down, and the movie never got released.
That is so frustrating.
It is, and it's more common than people realize as well.
So common. I've been in so many things. When I was doing film production and we did our short film Catfishing, I wrote a whole nother web series which we shot, a pilot to, which never got released. I was in another short film, really short. It was like 2 minutes. Really awesome action. Like, it wasn't me showing off because everybody knows I do martial arts, but I had recruited a parkour runner for the show. So it's him doing free running and doing like wall runs and just amazing stuff in this very short film. Never saw the light of day. Like, come on. Like, I just wish that we could go through the archive and show off some of this good stuff, but it doesn't belong to me, so I can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it is.
I just, and I wonder how many things have been greenlit, really good scripts. Like, we talked about this the last time we were on the show. Things that get started, and for whatever reason, the production company halts. Financial reasons, legal reasons, whatever. And then it just never gets picked back up. And there's so many good ideas out there that maybe we just never saw them. It's so sad.
It is. It's really sad, especially when, like, every now and then, I'm obsessed with lost media. So stuff that's been made and then it's been like disappeared and stuff. But also, very similar movies that are made and they're all pushed for like a release, but then they just never come out. Like there was one called St. John Smith, which starred Rowdy Roddy Piper and Jonathan Davis from Korn.
What?
Yeah, and Jonathan Davis from Korn was basically playing the devil.
Okay.
And Rowdy Roddy Piper, he was playing a police officer who goes to a small town where in the jail cells, they've only got one prisoner, St. John Smith, which is Jonathan Davis from Korn, and he has to transport him from one state to the other, and all hell breaks loose. When I heard about that, I was like, oh my God, I need to see that. And there was a trailer. You can still see the trailer on YouTube. No one knows what happened to the movie. It never came out.
What the heck?
I know, right?
God. So sad.
It is. It is. But I think this year there's one movie, The Day the Clown Cried, made by Jerry Lewis. back in the late 60s or 70s. It wasn't halfway through production, it was close to the end of production. He ran off with the film cans and was like, no one can ever see this movie. And he said that he wanted it destroyed after he died, but close towards the end, he actually changed his mind. He donated a copy of the film to some sort of film institute and said, no one can see this movie till way after years after I've died. And when he died, they figured out that the earliest they could show it was June 2024.
Okay, so that's this year.
We may not have to wait too much longer to finally see it.
Why? Was he embarrassed by it? Was it controversial?
He was embarrassed by it. The story of the movie is Jerry Lewis plays this clown in World War II Germany, and he's very kind of immature and jealous and stuff. And there's this other clown that's getting loads of praise. And they kind of meet up one day to try and decide who's the best clown. And Jerry Lewis's clown starts mocking Hitler. And the Nazis are coming along at the time. They see him, so they put him in jail. And whilst he's there, he's with like a lot of the Jewish kids and stuff, and he's making them laugh. And the Nazis decide that they want to use him to lead the children into the gas chambers.
Oh, dear God.
And it was meant to be a very serious movie, but Jerry Lewis wanted it to be a comedy.
Oh, he is Jerry Lewis.
Exactly, and he only realized like towards the end. Oh,
maybe
no. He brought it. Someone brought it up in an interview once, and he punched the interviewer because he was like, "I don't want to ever talk about that movie."
Whoops.
Yep, and then
okay, I can see why. It
was a couple of years before he died that he finally opened up about it in an interview, and he said that he was basically ashamed and embarrassed of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that if he wanted it to be serious and it was made into a joke. And that's like one of the things you don't joke about, leading children to the gas chamber.
Okay.
Well, apparently, anyway.
Right? I mean, that's it right there.
The trailer's 7 minutes long. I'm going to go watch it, and then I'll be back.
Okay, let us know how it is. I'm just curious.
Yeah. I have to watch it now. It's got Rowdy Piper in it. I got to watch it.
I mean, I don't really follow wrestling, but I would still watch that. I like Korn.
I don't follow wrestling either. I have no interest in wrestling, but They Live, what a movie.
Right.
And in 2013, I was a guest at a convention in Dortmund, Germany, and one of the other guests was Roddy Piper. So I got to spend a lot of time with the guy, and like he was just so one of the nicest people you could ever meet. It was only like a year or two later that he died, unfortunately.
I always like to hear those stories when you go to see the celebrities and they're nice. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're either detached, like, hey, nice to meet you. What's your name?
Yeah.
Lucy? Okay. Dear Lucy. And it's like, I said Lucifer, you know, like what's your name? Carmen? Laura. Like, that's not even the same name. Like,
just put to eBay. It'll be fun.
And they're like, they take a picture like this, like their arm slightly around you, but not touching.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, Piper was so nice in person. Was a heel butt? What's a heel butt? Facebook user. Lewis canned it so it can't be released until after his death. The clown in the camp was supposed to be a jerk. Yeah. Yep. Yay. I love all the Brits. They're coming out today.
British invasion all over again.
That's okay. You can recruit me. I'm good with that. Because Glenn said, I made my TV debut in 1972, age 17. It was broadcast at least twice, but I've never seen it. The TV company wants 100 quid to send me they want to charge you money to send you the DVD of what you were in 1972. That's lame.
Bastards. Don't give it to them, Glenn. Don't do it.
$100. That's too much. Heel in wrestling. Oh, okay. Wrestling terminology. I don't know.
Yeah, it goes over my head as well. I probably use some and don't even realize it.
Lou, next time you come to Texas, let me know where you go. Texas is a big state, but I'm here. We could hang out. Just saying. So, Lucifer, what have you been up to since last time you were on the show? I know that we had, I got to read Ed Gein Demon Hunter, and we had talked about Lady Satan coming out, and it was still in production.
Yes.
Where are we at?
Where are we at? Well, with Lady Satan, we have issue 1 is available, and issue 2.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Christian is currently in the midst of illustrating issue 3. I've already seen a big batch of pages from that, and it looks fucking great. So he's got to finish issue 3 and issue 4. And then once he's done with issues 3 and 4, he's jumping straight into the second story arc with Lady Satan.
Wow.
Because I always intended this to be a big saga. You know, it's, even though it's a revenge story, and a lot of revenge stories can be quite small in scope because they're very personal to the characters and stuff. This one has something bigger to it. So when I was originally promoting this, I was just promoting this story arc, which is the 4 issues. And instead of going like, oh, this is Lady Satan, this is Lady Satan 2, issues 1, 2, 3, and 4, it's just going to carry on as is, but it will be labeled appropriately. So I've got Christian tied down for a long time. I asked him if he would stay for the second story arc, and he came back and he said the worst thing he could say. He said, I'm in this till the end. I was like, oh, Christian, you don't know how many years that is. You have no idea what I'm going to ask you to draw. You're going to hate me.
No, he won't. I'm sure he's in it for the long haul because the story is amazing. But still, I get it. Like, dude, I'm going to chain you to a chair in my basement. Are you cool with that? And he'd be like, just feed me Rice Krispies. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. He won't have a life. One day he'll have children, but they won't know what he looks like. Because he'll be in this like little cave, just chained down like a pencil glued to his hand, you know.
His hands are permanent stuck.
So at the moment, we're just fulfilling issue 2 to backers.
Oh, very nice. No, I correct myself. Issue 1 of Lady Satan was done when you were on. I remember because I read that one as well. But you were working on issue 2. I was like, something was in production, Lady Satan, when you were on. So that's awesome. 2 is done, and you're working on 3. And no stopping.
No. And I've also got an artist called Halil Matei, who's working on a book for me called John Wayne Gacy, Survival of the Sickest. In fact, if you give me a second, I can show you the character design. Because I do have that somewhere. Oh, good old technology. Me and technology, we don't work well together. Oh, hold on. Here we go.
I feel you, man. And Lou, I'm north of Dallas, so I know we're kind of far away, but we should definitely hang out sometime. Ooh.
There we go. So, this is Halil's design for John Wayne Gacy. I didn't give him any direction with it. I just said, design John when he's not Pogo and when he is Pogo kind of thing. And this is what he came up with. And there's a couple of things. If you look very closely, I did not ask Halil to put them in. He decided to, and I'm glad he did because they're funny.
What?
Oh, no. I'm not going to say. You have to try and figure it out.
You have to zoom in. You know me, I can't.
I'm
just going to make this a lot bigger. I see the people coming up from the ground. What's in the... Oh.
I think you may have found it.
Is that what I think it is on the left side?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, but it works. It works.
Okay. I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, exactly. So that's starting. Halil's starting the artwork on that in early March, so not long to go before we get started on that one. So that's going to be in production at the same time as Lady Satan. And as I've mentioned before, Christian, he's very good at committing to things, and that leaves me going, oh, Christian, you don't realize what I'm asking of you, because we're actually going to be doing a colorized version of Ed Gein Demon Hunter.
Oh,
as well.
Okay.
I can show you.
Coloring it? Who's going to color?
Christian is the one coloring it, and I can show you a little bit of that as well.
Yes.
Because I had so many people ask if we would do a colored version, and I kept making it clear this book was always meant to be in black and white. As you'll see from this little bit here, there's a black and white comparison to the color comparison.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're
both good.
Yeah, I know, right? See, I was on the fence because I really like it in black and white. It was intended to be in black and white. But I said to Christian, how about, people keep asking, so how about we just color one page and just see how it turns out and put it out there and see what people think. So this is the page that we chose, and we put it out there, and we got a better response than I thought we were going to get, and that you thought we were going to get.
That's what we did too, because we did Path. Our issue 1 was in black and white, and I had Marco color 2 pages, and people were like, I don't know what it will take to do this, but we need the color, right? So I know that's the response you got based off of this. But it's like, it's so hard because you have people that like Lou who love the black and white. Everybody, you have 2 camps. The people are like, give me just the black and white the way it was meant to be. But then there's the other camp that's like, oh, look at that color.
Yes, absolutely. And I've had quite a few people who they've already got the book, they've already read it, they absolutely love it, and they were like, this won't work in color. And then they saw the color pages and went, damn, I was wrong.
Right. And they're like, now I need both. That's the problem.
Exactly. But we'll be keeping both the black and white version and the color version out.
That was my next question. Yep.
And I know that Pops loves the black and white version.
He came in to tell you, like, you don't get rid of my black and white.
He knows what's up. I got multiple copies of the first print of #1, nice and black and white.
Oh, yeah.
My thing with great artists, people like Jim O'Reilly, people like Christian, you really have to find the perfect colorist that can make the
style
color
that has to match,
wiping out the line work.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's really hard. And as soon as you alluded to having somebody do, I was like, no.
But if it's Christian, you know what I mean? Christian is the guy that drew the comic. He understands the intention behind it. You know what I mean? He's the one that. So I think it's a double-edged sword because you want that, but also you want someone. I don't want to slow my production down. You know what I mean? Because when he's coloring issue 1, he's not working on issue 3.
Yes, I get exactly.
Christian, we need to clone you.
The funny thing is a lot of times I'll see a black and white book and I'll imagine it in color as I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Because we all live in color. We see color.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Christian's art, that does not happen to me. Okay. I just look at, I'm so enamored of trying to find all of the hidden stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm focused in on micro parts of each panel as opposed to back here looking at the page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Christian makes me study the book. I spend time reading Lucifer's books, where some other books I just kind of go through them, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy makes me study every panel, every page. That's why I love it. That's why I have multiple copies of the first issue. If anybody wants one after there's only none left, I'll have some.
I strive to do the same with my books as well, Lucifer, where it's like I want people to read it, but for the people that study it, they'll find the extra depth and the things that we built into the behind the scenes.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if you look at the script just for issue 1 of Ed Gein Demon Hunter, there's so many points in panel descriptions where there's a break, and then I put the word note. And I'm like, okay, Christian, we really need to do this. Okay. And but Christian is amazing because he doesn't just include the Easter eggs that I tell him to include. He puts in several that I did not ask him to do.
Yeah.
And I end up getting pages back and I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then I look back at it and go, hold on, what's that right there? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a little secret that I've kind of had from readers. Only 2, 3, 4 people actually know about this, and I've sworn them to secrecy about this.
I want to know.
Obviously, I've got books that I'll do after these ones have finished. We know that there's a Ted Bundy book coming, and there's a team-up book with the serial killers called The Defilers. I've spoken before about a book that I want to do called The Ballad of John Coffin. But there's one book that I've never spoken about that I'm going to do. It's the closest thing I have done or will do to an ongoing series. And the thing that I haven't told anyone is, if you've read Ed Gein Demon Hunter, and if you've read what we've published of Lady Satan so far, you've already met the lead character and you don't know it.
I gotta go read it again.
And I've been holding on for like a few years.
I have to do this because I'm pretty sure you
spoilers.
did tell me. So
I'm like, do you want me? I'll just remove them. There we go. Next. There. We don't have to worry about any spoilers. No spoilers. I don't think my eyebrows could go any higher. Did you see them? They were like all the way up in my hat. I was like, and
and there's more.
and more.
So it will be interesting when I do say more about that in public. And thank you very much, Brad. I'm glad you're liking the page.
Brad said it twice.
Even better. That's how good it is. That's how much Brad liked it, and that's because Brad is awesome. Brad, don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Pencilers should know about the lettering and coloring, even if not assigned to be a part of the production. Agreed.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just so important to have a team that understands the intent. Because I mean, if you're in a horror book and it's bright colors and sunshine, happiness everywhere, it's like, what am I reading? You know, you want that gritty texture. You want that, like these colors here, where it's not super bright. They're muted, but the reds stick out. I love what he did with the even with the text. Well, now on that second, you know, on the right side, on the color side, how the green pops out from the red background and comes out of the bubble.
Yes,
that was a good choice. So, yeah, it's so important to have the right feel and the right team and the team that works together. So this is amazing. Christian, kudos to you, man. Hats off. I'm not taking my hat off.
Is amazing in what he does, and getting to work with him has been one of the best things ever in my career as a writer. And you know, we're bouncing around ideas all the time, and every time he comes to me with an idea, I'm like, oh shit, that gets me excited. What about this? And then he's like, oh no, I'm really excited. It's like we're just like two big kids, really.
That's awesome. I love that too. It's like you really have to have that collaboration. It's like when you bounce ideas off of him and then he bounces ideas off of you, and then it's just everything kind of levels up, which is so cool. Good
Absolutely.
Morning. Good morning,
Good
Mr.
morning,
Big.
Wayne.
How are you?
How the devil art thou?
Oh, someone's trying to. Should work together on something.
Brad, are you talking to me or Laurie or both?
I'm pretty sure he's talking to you.
Oh, bless you, Brad. My ego says thank you. But don't pander to my ego. My ego is an absolute prick.
So this is awesome. You just have stuff planned out for years, don't you?
Oh yeah. Because I think I'm like a lot of people in the creative field. Eyes bigger than my belly. I bite off way more than I can chew. And you just pray that it's all going to work out fine. That you are able to herd all the cats together and get it taken care of.
I feel that personally. I'm in that weird time where things are wrapping up on one project and about to start on the next one. And it's just like, there's so many things to do, but I can't pull the trigger on some of them where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to panic.
Yes. Oh, no. I
got a good word for that. I'm just going to panic for a little bit. I'll be able to get it all done. It'll all get done. But it's like, there's going to be some late nights.
Yeah, there always comes that point in your career where you realize, shit, I've got so many stories I want to tell, but in order to tell them, I've got to live till I'm about 297. So which ones don't I do? And you can't let any of them go. You're like, no, I really love this.
They're all my babies. I love them equally.
Yes, absolutely. You'll have the odd moment where you think, I like this one a lot more than its brothers. And then you move to the next one and go, no, I was wrong.
I'm wrong. Totally wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all different, you know?
They're all different. They're all unique and they're all a part of you.
Yeah.
Like there's always that big thing that I see a lot of indie creators talk about where it's like, you know, you can't do any self-inserts in stories and this, that, and the other. And I get where they're coming from, but as a creative, you do put a little part of you into each story, whether you want to or not, whether you realize it or not. There's so much that you do subconsciously and you don't spot it until it's way too late.
Mr. Big, what? I think England, not Oz. I'm just...
Yes, England, the UK. Don't worry, you're not the first person to mistake me for an Australian.
Australian? There's an Oz in Australia?
Yeah, Oz is short for Australian. Aussie. Is he an Aussie?
I thought it was AUSSIE. I don't know.
Yeah, but some people use OZ and it works just as well.
Yes, he is the man behind the curtain. Never turn the work down, then panic. Yeah.
Glenn knows.
We're like, yeah, I'll do the thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna sleep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Face palm.
Hey, Doc.
Goodness. So Lady Satan #3, when is that one expected to release, you think?
I'm hoping.
He knows the munchkins from us. Just...
No comment.
Hoping 3 will be going out there somewhere between April and May, but I'm really good at guessing things like this, and then it either happens earlier or later.
It's great. You could be like a weatherman. I'm like that too, where people are like, when are you lunching next? And I'm like, I have no idea. I'll get closer and we'll figure it out.
Oh, the other one that I'm really good at that's very similar is like with Edging Demon Hunter. When I signed Christian on board, I said to him, like, oh, it'll just be a one-shot, about 32 pages at the most. Honest, I'll get to work on it now because you've said yes. And then before I knew it, I was like, this is not a one-shot. This is a 4-issue miniseries. Why do I do this to myself?
You're like, I promise it's only one issue. It's 4 issues.
One day I'm gonna hire someone to be an artist. I'm gonna be like, it's a 12-issue maxi series and you're gonna love it, it'll be great. And then I'll be like, it's an 8-page short story, I'm sorry. It's bound to happen one day.
The other way, come on.
I've never had it work that way, but it's bound to happen at some point.
No. You can't turn in 62 pages of script and be like, nope, I'm only producing 8 pages. Doesn't work. I mean, no.
To be fair, I like to let scenes breathe. I mean, there's always been that golden rule with comics, like scenes should be like between 3 and 4 pages. And I'm that guy that comes along and goes, yeah, but there's a layer of subtext here that you miss out on if I shrink it down too much. Like in issue 2 of Lady Satan, there's one scene that goes on for 9 pages. But it doesn't hurt the book. It doesn't hurt the story. It just adds more depth to it. Just letting it breathe, letting it be what it needs to be.
I think that's a challenge in comics because I don't want people to lose interest. So we kind of have to hurry the story along. But there, like you said, there are moments that need to breathe in order for people to understand. So that's the challenge, I think, because even if it's in like a live action or animation, you can give it as much time as it needs, and it's difficult in 2D for people to understand the emotions sometimes. And there's like an extra page. It's like, why is that here? You know, I've had people tell me that about my first issue where they're like, spent too much time on this glass. And I was like, why would you think I would spend so much time on this glass? It's important.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you're setting up stuff that doesn't happen for another like 2 or 3 issues later, but it needs to be there. And people are going to read it and go, what was the point of this?
Right. And that's what he was like, why are you spending so much time on that glass? And I was like, think about your question. Just for a second. Maybe I'm trying to communicate something and I took 3 panels to make sure you understood that it was important. No? Okay. It's cool. You'll figure it out later. That's the hard part. When it comes to visual storytelling, now you said you put a lot on the page for Christian. Are you writing? I don't know if we talked about this last time. Are you writing in comic book script where it's like page 1, panel 1,
Yes.
camera angle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My scripts tend to get quite detailed. Sometimes I'm just putting in information that Christian needs to know. It's not necessarily something that we're going to see on the page, but so that he understands why I'm asking for certain pieces. Like in issue 1 of Lady Satan, you on pages 2 and 3, you've got this double page spread. And I in the script, I said to him, okay, there needs to be certain stars in the sky, a certain amount of them. One needs to be bigger than the other. And that was like a panel description that big. And then I spent about that much describing why it was there and what it symbolized and stuff. Because I don't know what it is. I just like to add those layers in there. I like my books, my stories to be like an onion. You keep peeling away and you discover more and more about it. I really like to get into the psychology of the characters and the psychology of what's going on within the scene, as well as the bigger whole of the story as well. So yeah, I do write in comic book script form. I do know people that kind of like to do like the Marvel method, where they do a brief description and then let the artist figure it out. I've always been self-conscious about doing scripts the way that I do, because I think, oh Christ, I'm giving them a novel to read practically. Are they going to turn around and be like, well, hold on, I need some creative freedom as well? But I've found that every artist that I've worked with so far, they really appreciate the amount of detail in there, because it gives them more to work with. And more often than not, they come back with, like, when I'm writing the page, I visualize it in my head a certain way. I visualize certain angles, and I tell them sort of like, okay, this kind of camera angle, this kind of position stuff, and they come back and it always looks so much different to how I've imagined it, but somehow a much, much better than how I imagined it as well.
Yeah, I find that as well. Well, I've written script in comic book format, and but Path of the Pale Rider is not. So a lot of times Marco was doing the paneling, but again, Marco went to school for that. Marco went to school for sequential art. So I feel like he took the time to read the script and understands the characters and where they're going, and can best show what camera angles would suit those scenes. Because I have some ideas, but who am I to tell? You know what I mean? It's almost like, who am I to tell him how to do sequential art when he went to school for it? I'm like, I have a script, you know?
Well, that's the thing. When I'm writing a script, because I know it's going to an artist and not me. I mean, it used to be that it was for me to be the artist as well. So when I was doing it that way, I would do it very much in shorthand. I'd miss out little details, and I'd come back to it to draw the page, and I'd be like, what the fuck did I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember what the hell's going on. But then I made the wise decision of going, look, I've got to focus on one thing or the other. Writing's in my wheelhouse. That's what I'm known for. Let's stick with that. I'll hire artists to draw for me. So when I write a script now, it is very much detailed, but I also take into consideration that I'm not trying with this script to entertain hundreds or thousands of readers. I'm trying to entertain the artist. Because if he's entertained, he's going to do the best job on the artwork, and that is what's going to entertain the reader.
That's so
if I can't entertain the artist whilst they're reading it, then what's the point? It's not a very good story, is it? You know? So, I mean, like with the issue 3 script for Lady Satan, that was great, because what I've done with Ed Gein Demon Hunter, when Christian signed on board, I went, boom, here's all 4 scripts, go. And he read them from beginning to end, all 4 of them, and then started the book. With Lady Satan, I did it differently. I decided, right, I'm just going to give him one script, let him draw the book, then give him the next script, especially as I knew I wanted to ask him to stay on for more than one story arc. And I thought, if I get him hooked the same way that a reader does, where they read it in parts, that might work in my favor. So I gave him the issue 3 script, and I waited a bit. And every time I send a script off, there's still that part of me that's like, "Oh no, they're going to come back and say this sucks. Do it again." But it hasn't happened yet. So I'm doing well so far.
That's everybody, because I feel like such a nerd where I'm like talking with the artist, and I'm like, "This is what you need to understand about this character," and and I just go like full on nerd out about my story, right? And they're silent, and I'm like, they think I'm the biggest. Whatever, fill in something, you know what I mean, nerd about my own script, where it's just like, oh, I cringe. But again, same thing, like no one's ever come back to me and said, "God, you're really full of yourself," or "God, this story is so boring," or you know what I mean. So with that feeling of just being like, I'm really excited about my story, hopefully you are too. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with every script that when I sent him the Egging Demon Hunter script, he came back and was just like, "This is great. You're really talented, man." I was like, "Oh, stop, bless you." Sent him the issue 1 script. He's like, "This is great. I want to know where this is going." Sent him the issue 2 script. He went, "Oh my God, I did not see it taking that turn." And then I sent him the issue 3 script, and he sent me a novel of an email. Just ranting and raving, going, "This is brilliant. This is genius. I now understand this and this. And when it came to this bit, I fell out of my chair."
That meme. What's that wrestling meme? I don't know who it. Someone film me in the name of the guy. It's like the announcer guy, where it's like the first picture and then it shows him being like excited, and then the second picture where they're like more excited. The third picture, he's like has lasers shooting out of his eyes because he's so excited, like falling out of it. It's that meme. It's that meme right there where it's just like, "This is great. This is great."
Yeah, it just slowly builds up. And I always tease him as well. Whenever I send a script, I'm like, "Look, I think you're going to enjoy it, but wait till you get to this issue.
Oh my God.
When I'm ready to send you that script, you'll see what I'm on."
Someone knows what I'm talking about. It's a great meme. We'll find it. We'll post it. It's great. Oh my gosh. Let me see what the chat is saying. 30 years today. Oh
man.
I did not realize. Hats off. Moment of silence for Jack Kirby. Thank you, sir, for making comics what we are living today.
Exactly.
Hello. Let's see. Yes, I'm an artist, not a mind reader. It's always helpful to get a descriptive script. And I feel you. It's like we got to put all that stuff in there so you understand what to draw. Chris said, "I feel like using camera angle option, but then allowing the artist to make changes if they feel it's more dynamic." Absolutely.
Yes.
But at least giving them that. Go ahead. Lucifer.
I was just going to say, I love Christopher Brown's avatar. I believe that's from Archer, if I remember correctly. "Sir, you are in the danger zone."
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, I just thought I'd undercut you there.
I needed that. Thank you. I needed that. I don't know what is this the thing? It's probably the link. It says, "I'm 2 steps behind it. I am taking notes, learning to do outlines next Sunday. I have 3 books in mind." Devil's Air. You just get them out, man. Sometimes you just got to fill the sandbox full of sand. You can always go back and build the sandcastle, right?
This is true. There are, like I said before, I think as writers we can get a bit self-conscious about what we're doing, and we're very worried, like, "Oh God, what if people think it sucks because there's not enough in there?" And then we end up overdoing it. Like, we have to, when you enter that first draft, you kind of have to be self-conscious like that. And a little bit with the second draft. And when you come to the third draft, you have to be the complete opposite and be like, "No, that shit's coming out. That shit's coming out. If you don't need it, get it the fuck out." And it's a weird juggling act to do.
Yeah. Yes. Put it all in and then take some of it out, please. Don't take it all. Just some of it.
What I've taught people to do before is, like, no matter how crazy or stupid you think the idea is, put it in there. Whether it works or not, just throw it the fuck in there, because there's nothing to say that you can't take it out later. And if you do take it out, there's nothing to say you can't use it in a different story later.
Right, that too.
That's the other thing that gets into our heads, is like, but if I don't put it in this book, no one will ever see this magnificent moment. It's like, they will, just not in this book. That's all.
I need to go rework a script. Do you ever do that where you like right before it goes to the artist, I'm like, I'm gonna read it again, and then you're like, oh, I need to fix it.
I always give it one last read before I send
Yeah.
it to the artist. It's very rarely that I get it done and then go, fuck it, it will do. You know, you have to be under like a super tight deadline for that to happen. Most time I give it one more read and then I just go, right, this is my last chance. I can't do this again. Put in what I need to put in, take out what I need to take out, and then you send it. And that's it. Because otherwise you will be there for fucking decades.
I mean,
analyzing every little sentence.
Yeah, take that out, put this in. Still, I mean, like I did that on this last script where it's like there's one point with a car and it's like we talked about the car, but then does he go back to the car? Does he not go back? Should we talk about it? Why he doesn't go back to why, you know what I mean? Like, do we need to destroy the car? So we explain, like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like just constant wiggling with the script. And then again, who does your lettering? Does Christian do your lettering too?
Some of the stuff that you see in pages like that, Christian's actually drawn into the artwork, some of the lettering. So like the sound effects of like the chainsaw on that page, he's drawn them in. But the actual dialogue and stuff, I'm the one who does that.
Okay, because then are you fine-tuning the dialogue as you put it in too?
Oh, God, yes.
See what I mean? It's just like it's never done.
No, it's never done, and it's amazing. When I'm doing the lettering, I think, oh God, I'm going to end up adding bits, aren't I? And that's never the case. It's always me going, you don't need that. You could like it says it all in this one sentence of dialogue, so just leave it to that kind of thing. I've done it before where like I've had like a conversation between two characters go on for a couple of pages. Each panel's got so many balloons in it, and then I go, you know what? Silence is. There's that song. I can't stand it. It's awful, but some people like it. So fair play to them. You say it best when you say nothing at all. Yeah. Sometimes that is something we need to remember when it comes to dialogue. In fact, I remember seeing an interview with Matt Stone and Trey Parker from South Park. And they were talking about this one episode that they were doing where they had this dialogue exchange between Carl and Stan. And it went on for like about 4 or 5 minutes. But they only had time to record what Kyle said and not Stan before they could watch a rough cut. And then they thought, we can still go back in later and add Stan's dialogue. And they actually found it was funnier because Kyle was saying stuff and then Stan would say nothing and Kyle would be reacting to it, assuming what Stan was saying, and that it actually worked out better. So that's something that I always remember. There's always moments where you can go, you know what? You don't need dialogue at all from this character. You just need a moment of silence.
Well, and the art speaks for itself too. And I think I'm with you where it's like, I might put like inner dialogue and then I'll look at it and be like, nope, and just take it out. There's no point. You just let the art speak for itself.
Absolutely.
Yes, Pops. You're just here to agree. Thank you. Love it.
He knows what's up.
Doing a Cray Twins fighting an Elder God cult in the West End, and what? I see Mr. Storm doing a Cray Twins fighting an Elder God. Can't talk. Elder God cult. Thank you. In the West End in the 1960s. Interesting.
Hey, well, I'm free this weekend. I can give it a go, but it won't be the 1960s.
No, really, if nothing
Brad, you argue with yourself. Don't lie.
If nothing you have to say can make what that person said better, and there's nothing I can add to what Lucifer said to make what he said better. So
I agree. Now say that 3 times. Pass. I'm pretty sure I'm going to say something inappropriate and mix it up. And say
what are you talking about 3 times fast?
I said Elder God cult. My mouth doesn't want to say those 3 words fast. Hooked on phonics works for me. Shut up. Love you. Love, darling, but shut up.
Yeah.
What's this? Devil's Air, you're eating spicy today? Sambal. I don't know what that is. You'll have to tell me.
Some kind of Dutch thing.
Is Dutch food spicy?
I don't know.
What is I'm not educated enough to know what Dutch food
It
is
sounds
like.
like Indian,
That did sound like Indian food. I'm not sure.
but I don't eat that.
And hello, Keith. Yes, you manage too many pages. I always know when it's like Facebook user and it's like, I managed too many pages. That's Keith. And I think he sent me the link. Why won't it? I'm just going to push all the dang buttons. Push the buttons. It's Indian food. Yeah. I'm from the Netherlands.
See?
Thank you. So what else, my friend? What else is popping? Like, tell me some more. Let's talk about more writing things. Let's talk about more projects.
Well, what kind of writing things do you want to know?
Laurie, ask him about his past.
We were talking about his past. We were talking
there's
about
lots more. Trust me.
dude. I know. We talked about the whole Fox story last time, which was super interesting.
Yes, we did.
Did he tell you about the creepy places near where he lives?
No.
Yes,
Yeah, I don't live too far away from a cemetery, for starters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's always nice. There's loads of creepy places. Believe it or not, it's just a couple of blocks that way. I'm pointing this if you know where
that is through the bookcase.
Yeah,
The cemetery is behind the bookcase.
Beyond this wall, it's not purgatory. Okay. Now I know that's going to ruin things for a lot of people, but guess what? Santa Claus don't exist either. Sorry if I'm going to ruin your day. I'm going to really ruin it. But no, a couple of blocks away from me was the scene of a very interesting serial killer.
Oh, Jack the Ripper?
No, a very modern serial killer.
Okay.
It was this guy from, I can't remember where in Europe he came from. I want to say Italy, but take that with a pinch of salt. But a guy moved over here and he met a woman that lived across the street from him. Okay. And they got along very well. She had a couple of kids from a previous marriage and everything. They got on fantastically. They were in love, bless them. And during that time, there were reports, especially in the local newspaper, of women who were getting onto the bus. They were driving off. And then when they got off the bus, they would find that a lock of their hair was missing. And that someone on the bus had cut off a lock of their hair. And it was a really weird thing. No one could explain it. And it turned out to be this guy, because that was usually how he would choose his victims.
No.
He would find them on a bus and then he'd cut off a lock of their hair and then try and find them later on. But what he ended up doing was murdering the woman that he lived across the road from, that he started this relationship with. I'm not going to tell you what he did to the body.
Oh, Lord.
All I'm going to say is her kids are going to be in therapy forever, because they were the ones who found the body when they came back from school. So literally just like I said, a couple of blocks beyond there, it's not purgatory. It's the scene of where there was a serial killer.
What's the serial killer's name?
Oh God, I wish I could remember, to be honest with you. it's one of those things,
I kind of want to research that now.
Like they made a couple of documentaries about it. I think one was put on TV over here during the first lockdown.
Yeah, we watched a lot of stuff on lockdown, didn't we?
Oh yeah, everyone did. Everyone's an expert on serial killers now. Trust me. But yeah, we've had loads of things like that. One of the people you mentioned, Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
One of the people involved in the case, Aberline, was it? He's buried in the cemetery.
Oh, really?
That's literally just round the corner from where I am.
Huh.
Like, I can literally walk out my house, take about 100 steps, and I'm at that cemetery.
Do you ever go visit?
Oh, I've been to that cemetery loads. I love walking through it. It's one of the best places to go because it's so peaceful and quiet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know it's kind of weird to think this, but cemeteries are usually quiet and well maintained, so they're beautiful.
Yes.
I've been to some very beautiful cemeteries, some creepy ones too. There was this one in Michigan. It was right by the church my mom used to work at, and it had this weird hill, and it's just a dirt hill, and you would take your car, go to the bottom, park at the bottom of the hill, and then put your car in neutral, and the car would roll backwards up the hill.
Wow.
I didn't get that either, Siri. I didn't get that either. But it was so weird. Like, and we did it time and time again, and like with my parents, and my parents couldn't explain. So it was just a real creepy one. But the cemetery was nice. It was just had this weird hill. I don't know if it was an optical illusion or something, but
That's weird.
Shiawassee Park, people. Pops, go for a drive, Pops. It's out in
there's a pretty creepy
Arlington.
cemetery in South Minneapolis by, I want to say, Lake Harriet, that we used to go. We used to go through the cemetery to get to the lake.
Okay, that's weird.
Well, I mean, it was a shortcut. I mean, you're kids. You're not going to walk all the way around this stupid ass cemetery and around there was also a wildlife preserve. So, I mean, you had to walk a long way out of your way to get to the lake unless you just cut through cemetery. Right?
Yeah.
And we used to do it all the time, man. But sometimes we just stop in there and be, I do a day, whatever, you know. It's like, it didn't faze us whatsoever that we were just tripping around dead people. Just didn't matter, you know.
I think some people have that stigma, but when they're like, it's a cemetery across the street, at least you know you have quiet neighbors.
This is true.
You hope you have quiet neighbors.
I mean,
if they ain't, you got issues, baby.
I think they should be. Wouldn't they be? You never know. Can they tie their shoes before they go down? That might be helpful because if they come back up, that would be hilarious. First off, and also help you run away. Took a lock of hair. See, Carissa, do you know who it was? Carissa says that they used a CSI. CSI used this story.
That's what. That's who it is.
Oh, is this Lou Restivio?
It might be. It might be.
Okay, good. I want to Google it.
Oh, it's definitely worth looking into.
He took more than hair. Oh,
don't make it creepier. Don't.
I don't want to see the pictures. I just need to know the story. Just need to know.
Like I said, it's messed up what he did to the body. The kind of stuff that even I normally talk about anything, but on Pops' channel, I'm going to be reserved and say, read for yourself. But only if you don't want to sleep for a day.
You, sir, on our channel can say any goddamn thing you want.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, first of all,
let's see. We at Comics Crusaders also support indie to the core. Anyone interested in being on the live stream show, please DM the social platform or visit our website. You can also come on here with me and hang out. That was creepy. Okay. Moving on.
I like creepy. Well, I do.
I do. I mean, that's where I live. I mean, shirts with, yeah. That's good. I wish I had a real bookcase behind me, though. I like your bookcase.
Oh, I thank you very much. But you haven't said anything about the news. Like, I'm not doing well.
I was looking at it, and I see your pillow that's a Ouija board, too. So it fits in with the look. I like it.
It's very homely here. Well, I feel that it is. I mean, you can't really see it, but on top of that news, there's a couple of crows.
Oh, nice.
Russell and Cheryl, I like to call them.
And the Ouija board pillow is
spot on, right? Yeah, that's what I said.
This guy right here. And I actually have my own coffin as well.
Do you really?
Yep, I do indeed.
Like a real coffin?
A real coffin.
You can get in it?
Yep, I can get in it if I wanted.
Do you sleep in it?
No. But I tell you what, if I'm ever lucky enough to find that right woman who won't mace me, and she comes over sometime, then the relationship's ruined instantly because she'll just take one look at it and go, I know what he wants to do.
Serial killer, bye.
Yeah, but if they see it and go, oh, cool, I know what we should do in that, then she's a keeper.
Not enough room to maneuver in there. I'm just saying.
I have lots of weird stuff here that really freaks people out. I mean, I got a little bit of taxidermy, obviously, with the crows up there and stuff, and I've got another crow on some books called Edgar Allan Crow. He keeps me company as well. One that really weirds people out is I have some actual coffin nails where this person that I got in touch with was selling them online, and I thought, like, are they serious, or is it like, you know, a metaphorical kind of thing? And I talked to them about it, and what it was is they lived near a cemetery that had to be relocated. Okay, so when they relocated it, obviously they have to dig up all the graves and stuff and see what's left, and if there's anything left, take it there. But it meant that they found loads of coffin nails from coffins that had disintegrated over time because they'd been there for so long. And he was allowed to keep them, and he batched them up and was like, hey, if anyone's interested. I was like, yes, me, I'll take them.
What do you do with them?
So I keep them for good luck.
Right?
You know, I like my little morbid curiosities, but it's really fun when someone comes over and it's the first time, you go, hey, put your hand out, and then you put one in their hand, they're like, what the hell's that? And you don't want to know.
Oh my goodness. I want to come visit just so I can be like, all right, show me all the weird stuff.
Oh, there's a lot.
Take me for a tour. I want to see all the weird stuff that you got in your house.
I mean, bear in mind, like we didn't start, me and you, Laurie, we didn't start talking till well after Ed Gein was done, right?
Right.
So you weren't there when I was promoting the first Indiegogo campaign.
Right.
At the time, I knew a taxidermist, and I was talking about like little add-ons, and I was talking about little add-ons and stuff that we could do as perks.
I am concerned.
And they turned around and went, well, when you mention Ed Gein to people, they always go, oh, the guy that made the nipple belt. And I'm like, yeah. And they told me about how with some of the animals that they do, especially birds, because it's all ethically sourced, sometimes it's roadkill and stuff like that. Sometimes they're just like, well, we can use the top part of the body, but we can't use the rest. So what do they do with it? And they said, you know what? If you tan the skin of a bird properly, it will feel like human skin. So they made 10 of these taxidermy nipples.
Shut up.
That we were doing as a perk on the Indiegogo, but we could only send them to people who backed the campaign in the UK because of various
Because of shipping, right?
I couldn't get one, man.
I was like, you made stuff out of skin, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I didn't personally.
Not you personally, but you paid.
I just said, go on then. I won't say no. And Indiegogo didn't like it.
No, I'm sure they were like, we're going to go ahead and cancel this.
Well, they let it stay on the campaign for about 10 days or so. And
Really?
then they sent the email saying, yeah, we won't be having that. You need to take it off of the campaign and any photos of it. And I was like, oh, God, this is going to take me for ages then. You know?
You're like, I'm on it, and just take a week.
But luckily, someone who had backed like the T-shirt perk and all that, they came back and said, "Hey, what happened to the nipple campaign, the nipple perk? I was gonna back that later, but it's gone." And I was like, "Yeah, Indiegogo told me to take it off. I'll tell you what, I'll just give you one for free. Otherwise, I'm stuck with 10 of them." It sounds a lot better if you say, "Well, I got stuck with 9 of them."
I didn't get one.
No, it doesn't.
So you know. I'm not lying. I say this.
Nipple belts. People are like, excuse
well,
me.
it just means that if anyone's drunk enough to say, how many nipples do you have? I can say 9, and I'm not lying.
You can say 11.
Or 12, depending.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Lou, you have a channel. I need to subscribe to you.
I'm a subscriber of Blue.
You're the one subscriber then. She has one.
I think I was second.
Yeah, Devil's there and I are going to show up together. You can give us the tour together.
Oh, it is interesting. It is interesting indeed.
Yes, put the link, please, so we can go check you out. I love watching, whatchamacallit. Thank you, Lou. The Laurie has crashed. The art. See, I can't even talk today. What is wrong with my brain?
This is true.
The time lapse. Thank you, brain.
Yep.
I'm disgusted with this brain today. I don't know if I need more coffee or less. You know, if Hugo was here, he would tell me the answer is always yes. Need more coffee. Yes, more coffee. No one who visits Lucifer's house is ever seen again. Oh, so like Albert Fish's house, you go in and you don't come out.
Look. All I'm going to say on these accusations is something very simple. A friend helps you move. A good friend helps you move the body. That's all I'm saying.
Chris and I are good friends.
I know what you mean.
Leave it there. Zero brain. What is this? Zero brain cells, zero IQ Laurie today. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, man, I started some new medication. It's not my fault. Feel spacey. Yeah. Laugh it up, fuzzball. No, I'm just kidding. Authorities have been contacted. I'm already on the list somewhere. Thank you. Time-lapse videos. Yes, Lou, that's what we want to watch. I had Glenn on the show last week, and all we did was I wanted to just watch all of his time-lapse stuff of him doing watercolor. I was like, we won't watch all of it. And I was like, I lied. We're going to watch the whole thing.
Yeah. Every single bit of it.
I was like, it's so good. We're just going to watch that. So Lou, yes, I will happily turn that on and with some music and watch you do art because I can't do it myself. So I need to watch other people do it. It's relaxing. And it doesn't matter what you're drawing. Like you could be drawing chainsaw battles in a bar. And I'm just like, this music is so relaxing.
This is so nice.
It's so nice. Oh, look at the blood. Ooh, decapitation. Yeah.
Oh, look at the arterial spray.
So relaxing.
How beautiful.
Arterial spray.
That's a phrase you don't hear often.
Not often. No.
We need to change that. These youngsters, they don't know what they're missing out on.
Oh, goodness. Well, your book has all of that. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's not really for youngsters, but hey, you know, if the parents buy it, I'm not going to say no to them.
Right. Yeah. And we had a conversation about that too. Like putting something on the cover to warn.
Yes.
Or not. Because that was a thought of mine coming up. Like, do I do it? Do I not do it? How much information do I give? But it's like, then I feel like I'm giving away plot points.
Yeah, I get what you mean. That's why I said to you, like, put a suggested for mature readers.
Right.
Or something on it. Because then you're warning them without warning them.
Right. Because I don't want to say trigger warning this, trigger warning that. Because then it's like, well, now I know what's happening to these characters.
Well, I can tell you personally, if I pick up a book and it says trigger warning, I'll throw it the fuck away.
Put it back down.
Yeah.
And no purchase.
I don't want to be warned. I want to be entertained. And sometimes the point of being entertained is being surprised and shocked.
Yes.
You know? As Caesar A. Cruz said, art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comforted.
Agreed. 100%.
And if they get my book, available now.
I'm with you, man. I love your book. It does that 100%, especially like issue 1 when you get to the end and you're reading and there's that I can't talk. Revelation. Lucifer.
Come on, Laurie, you can do this. We believe in you.
Oh, my brain.
Hey, Laurie.
I didn't think I was gonna have a problem with these meds. What?
Guess who I was typing all hard at?
Who?
Jim Shooter's agent.
Who?
Jim Shooter's agent.
Okay.
Ooh.
You know, get Jim on one of these shows. Not sure which one yet, but
yeah, that would be great. But I digress. I wanted to show people your website just to remind people where they can go to find your works. And of
Lucifer,
course, you know, what's that?
How many of those first print number 1s are left, Lucifer?
What, of Ed King Demon Hunter?
Yes.
0.
I got 5. I got 5.
Lou, I 100% agree with you. But you know what? Because when I put that comment out there, writers like myself and Lucifer were talking about like, well, I don't want to give away plot points. But then there was like retailers that were like, yes, put it on because it helps me sell your book one way or the other. You know what I mean? So I get
Yeah.
their point of view too, where it's like they don't want to sell something to someone and upset them, but they also want to make sure like people understand the content that's inside. And sometimes when you put a mature warning or explicit content on the front, it actually helps sell it, which is strange. People are like,
Sometimes-
"Ooh, this one's
sometimes
extra
it does.
gory." Right.
Well,
Right.
it's a bit like those parental advisory labels on CDs and stuff.
Yeah, I remember those.
Like I remember seeing them in the 90s as a teenager, and it was like, if it ain't got one, I don't want to know, kind of thing. How things change as we grow older.
Yeah. Well, that was just like swearing too. It's like a lot of times if they said swear words, it was blanketed in there, and it's like, well, it's not hurting me.
Yeah, exactly.
Do. Let's go click around. Look at this picture, everybody. Haha. Greetings and salutations. How the devil art thou? Love it. So yeah, if you want to click around, check out. Oh, I love that you put this here.
Yes, I got 6 conventions booked for this year so far. Hopefully there will be more. I'm waiting to hear back about confirmation for one in Scotland, which would be very nice. And I'm keeping fingers crossed. There's no guarantee yet. Don't know if there will be. Got to see how things pan out. But there could possibly be a US convention.
Where?
Can't say anything just yet.
Oh.
I know. Annoying, isn't it? But
it's all right.
I've always
You have
wanted
to say
to
it when
come
you
back.
have to say it. I get it.
I've always wanted to go back to the US for a convention because it's strange. You would think that most of my readers are in the UK, and that's just not the case. The majority of them are all over in the US. I got like a small handful of readers here in the UK, but yet the UK conventions very easy to get. But getting them outside of the UK, not so easy.
Really?
So yeah, it's really strange.
Even with the amount of work that you have, that's crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah, look no further. Here's some books that you guys can start with. Again, here's the 100% get Ed Gein Demon Hunter. Lady Satan, get that one too. I know it's issue 3 is still in production, but and then of course you're teasing.
Oh yes, John Wayne Gacy. That will be an interesting one because in a strange way, I mean, Ed Gein was a challenge anyway. Okay, considering like the shit that he did, it's very challenging making someone like Ed Gein the lead.
Yeah.
Story. In a way, I feel that John Wayne Gacy is actually that little bit more difficult because what Ed did was very unique. You've never really seen him be copycatted or anything, and for some people, it's unimaginable what he did to his whole 2 victims. But then you look into John Wayne Gacy, and it's like, yeah, but he got frisky with some of them,
Yeah.
And there were 33 of them, and I think it was only 27 were identified.
Oh.
And there's
in
been
these floorboards.
Yeah, in the crawl space underneath his house. And considering he had already been in jail at one point for sodomy, that was about 10 years before he got caught after all these murders and stuff. And there's a lot of evidence that suggests, and a lot of experts are still confused. They're still like, we don't know. But there's evidence to suggest that he had multiple personality disorder, now known as dissociative identity disorder.
Right.
There's also some evidence to suggest that he wasn't alone, that there were at least 2 other people that worked with him.
Really?
But they can't confirm anything. There's evidence to suggest it, but they can't confirm it. So it's leaving a lot of experts like, we don't know.
And he never said.
No, he didn't. But there's also some false information that goes out. Like a lot of people like to turn around and tell the story about how when he was on the table for his lethal injection, how they said to him, do you have any last words? And apparently he replied with, kiss my ass. But other sources say that he said, go fuck yourself. And it turns out he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything whatsoever. But yet people are still putting out that information.
And I think it's just like it goes along with the whole persona. So people would assume that they would go out saying something.
Yeah,
Devil's
absolutely.
Air is asking, what would you consider the genre of your writing?
You know what? That's actually a really interesting question, and because that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Because I do refer to my books as being outlaw comics. I was very much inspired by outlaw comics. Some of my favorite books include books like Preacher by Garth Ennis, which I would consider to be a more mainstream version of an outlaw comic. So I've always kind of considered it that. I've always lumped it in the horror category, but sometimes I find that hard to do. I mean, Lady Satan is kind of a horror, but it's kind of a thriller at the same time.
Yeah.
And with Ed Gein, you know, I was going out there promoting it like this is an adventure horror story. But now I look back at it with like whole new eyes, and I'm like, in a way, it's kind of a black comedy.
Yep, I can see that too.
I think it's very hard to kind of categorize what I do as a writer. It's very much horror influenced. Yes, I think it will always be horror influenced, but I don't think it can really be stuck in just like one.
And that's what I love about indie is that you don't have to pick, one. It can check off many boxes. And that's usually when you get something new, that doesn't check off one box. It checks off like 3 or 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Comedy noir, Light link. Oh yes, that would help. It's just luciferstorm.com.
Yep, that's correct.
We'll copy and paste it in here for you.
There's still a lot of work to do on the website because I've been transferring from one host to another, so there's still a lot to do, but don't worry, there will be updates coming, little changes and tweaks, and updating the store as well. But it's worth signing up to my newsletter.
Yeah, sign up for the blog. I have a blog that you know what? I always say I have a blog that nobody follows, but I have 1 follower now. It's amazing.
Yes.
I'm going to tell them everything.
That's what you need. Just 1. I've actually been having...
What?
What's your next open date?
April 9th.
Okay. I'm offering it.
Go for it.
I'm offering it. So
take it. Post-mortem musings. So this is the blog. Yeah, I love reading blogs.
Yeah, I don't write enough of them, but I do plan on changing that. I've been thinking a lot about what to do with my blog and stuff because I've always wanted to do a blog and like really stick to it. And there's been lots of false starts and restarts and stuff, but I know what I want to do with it now. So once we've got Halil moving with John Wayne Gacy, I'll have more time to actually focus on the content side of things because I don't like to try and juggle writing books and making content at the same time.
It's hard. It's hard to wear all the hats. And I feel this too, like under maintenance, like my website is probably the thing I touch the least. It's like once you get it up and running, it's like an afterthought. Like it's still running. I don't have to. Yeah, I probably need to update so many things. So I feel you, and when you're doing, it's like you're writing, you're managing artists, you're going on podcasts, you're interviewing, you're booking conventions.
Yeah.
You just, it adds up. So then it's like,
and that's not even including like the small amounts of time you have just to experience a lovely bit of insanity, just on your own for a moment.
I'm like, I could probably work right now. I was like, why don't I take 30 minutes and just do nothing, please? Sometimes you just got to. Glenn wants to come back on too. Cool. Look at all the merch.
Oh, yes. And we do plan on some more coming down the pipeline as well. Like at the moment, the store kind of looks a little bit messy, but that's because it's just filling space for now. It'll be streamlined with some new merch on there in the coming months.
I hear you. I like that you offer digital as well. Because obviously, you can get people from overseas, but also I just like to download like all the digitals so I can just binge read. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
When you read Ed Gein Demon Hunter #1, you will immediately come back and purchase #2.
Which is exactly what I want. I'm not going to lie.
Right, of course. I mean, that's what we want.
All the books. And I mean, like, I'm someone who prefers print. I do not like reading digitally whatsoever. But I appreciate that there are people who do. There are people who can't afford the postage because, unfortunately,
Yes.
if I get a book from you guys in the US, you know, it costs me an arm and a leg. If you guys get a book from me, you have to put your house up for mortgage, maybe sell a child, or at least part of the child, you know. So there's all the things in the way. Plus, I know it's kind of an unpopular opinion, but I don't worry about piracy. Piracy is going to happen whether you make the digital edition or not. Okay.
Right.
And there are some people who do not want to pirate a digital edition, but they want a digital edition. Give them the option. They will give you the money. And you know what? From my experience, I've had a fair few people who emailed me and said, I feel really bad because I found Ed Gein Demon Hunter 1 on a piracy website. I took it and I loved it. So I went to your website and then I bought issue 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
You know, it's funny though, because a lot of us will put our issue 1 on places for free anyway, like Webtoons and Global Comics. So if it helps people get into this series.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One thing I've always wanted to do, but I've never found the right way of doing it for me, was to put single issues out as digital only, but not charge for them. So that people could just keep coming along, download what they like, wherever they like, and just read them, but have the collected editions in print only.
Yeah.
So that if they really like it.
I'm sorry, Glenn. I'm over here trying to book that show for somebody else.
Glenn, you were just on. He just loves me. He wants to come hang out some more, and I'm okay with this. Yeah, and I get that too. It's like you want those collectible. I'm with you where it's like, I want to read the story as quickly as possible and then go back and reread it. And like you said, find all the Easter eggs, see all the things hidden in the back. But when I do that, I want the physical copy so I can turn the pages, smell like be absorbed in it.
Yes.
I read it quickly the first time so I can be like, you know, like understand where the story's going. But then I always go back and reread and catch it again. But that physical copy makes such a difference in the read.
There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And I mean, hey, look, if the battery runs out on my tablet, well, that's not going to happen with this, is it?
Right.
The battery's not going to run out.
Right. Or it just dies and then it's like everything you downloaded is where?
Yes. And the amount of digital comics that you have to get through an app nowadays, and that app at any moment could go, nah, we're not going to let you have access to that. Even though you paid for it, you're just renting it. And I mean, did you ever hear that story? This is going back quite a few years now. They got rid of all their print comics because they were like, digital's the way forward. They got themselves a tablet. They got hold of the app where they could buy them and download them. They spent about $2,000 on getting all these digital comics, and then the app, the people who ran it, the company, went bust, and all of a sudden the app didn't work, and they didn't have access to any of those digital comics.
Can you imagine? Oh, I'd be so mad. But why would you do that? I don't know.
I've seen it happen with so many things. I've seen it happen with people who love music where they've gone, CDs are things of the past, or like print is dead and all that stuff. And they go completely digital and they got all these excuses for why this is the best way forward. But they always go back to the physical stuff.
It's funny because we go back to the physical, but then we go back a step further too. It's like CDs, but then people love vinyl. Vinyl just sounds so much better.
Vinyl is selling more now than it ever has done.
Yeah,
I think it's
cheaper to produce now than it was. But it's like if you still have a turntable, go for it. And you can watch videos of them making the vinyls. It's really cool.
Yeah. So you know, there's a lot to be said.
Buy physical, people. I mean, then do what works for you. Obviously, like Lucifer said, if you can't afford to have it shipped to you, do the digital. But you know, if you can do the print, that's always the preferred method. That's why we spend so much time hemming and hawing over paperweight and glossy versus matte and what
Oh
color
god,
cover.
yeah.
You know what I mean? We put so much effort into the physical, what it looks like and what it feels like. That's how we want you to consume it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we want you to have the best time ever with it. We want you to be afraid to close the book because you're like, but there'll be no more once I do.
That's the feeling we want, is people being like, so when's the next one coming? Because I need to know,
Yes.
I need to know.
Absolutely. There is no better question that anyone can ask you at a convention than when they say, I read your book, it was awesome. When's the next one? What is the next one? Can I buy it now? Can I just give you my dog in exchange for it now?
Take this child. No, don't take the children. No, don't take the children. What happened to Bruce Willis? It happened to Bruce Willis. He bought over $1 million worth of digital music, but when he dies, no one else can access it.
Yeah.
$1 million? Why?
And this is the other thing. Like, I get a lot of people at conventions who, when they like the book, they love to be like, can you sign it for me? You get people who haven't even read the book yet. You've just pitched it to them. They go, yes, I'll take the whole set.
Yep.
Can you sign it?
Sign it. Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's a bit weird when someone goes, here's my tablet. Your book is on there somewhere. You just sign the back of it for me. Not
sign
the screen.
The back of the tablet?
I haven't actually had that.
I was like, have you done that?
No. I've been asked to sign a lot of things, not a tablet.
Humans?
I've been asked
humans before?
Yes, I've signed humans. I've signed body parts.
No.
I've signed a guitar before that someone brought along, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, fine. Whatever you want, I'll sign it, as long as it's not your fucking tablet or your child.
Yeah, we're not allowed to do that. We could probably go to jail. We're not going to sign the children. 4 is coming. I swear it's coming. You know, when you're at the end of, like, right before you fulfill, that's when people start showing up in your inbox like, hey, have you shipped my things yet? And I'm like,
yeah,
no, but it's coming. What's this? Pops doesn't know yet, but the original Hatch artwork I gave him will be worth quite a few quid soon. Hey, did you sell that big tier yet? Where you hand deliver the ceramic? I'm just curious. Someone bought it.
Like that's a great idea.
Huh?
That's a great idea. I'll hand deliver this to you.
It's $10,000.
Are you trying to say that you might have published that piece? Is that what you're saying?
That would be great to have Glenn Fleming show up at your house with the collectible. Oh, not yet. So soon. I hope it goes. That would be awesome. That would be amazing.
I would do it with one of my books, but no, my luck, it would be like a third world tribe in like South America buys it, and it'd be like, yeah, don't know. Maybe I should go
collect you is what we're.
Yeah, exactly.
And Lucifer was never seen again.
Well, it'd make a change rather than they saw Lucifer and they were never seen again.
No, I think they would probably make a belt. You'd be a collector's belt. That's what happened.
Yeah, more than likely. No, my luck.
Send mine in a coffin. Ooh. Lucifer, I feel like there's some marketing there for you.
Well, I would be more than happy to do something like that. That would be amazing if I could get coffin-shaped mailing boxes.
Coffin-shaped boxes?
Gemini coffins.
Yeah.
Gemini coffins. I don't know if Gemini would do it, but you could definitely get cardboard.
You know what I mean? A cardboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Container for your comics, but shaped.
A lot of people, they always know when it's from me anyway, because it comes in this pitch black mailing box. It normally has from the desk of Lucifer Storm in the top corner of it, and I use a lot of black like packing paper and bubble mailer and stuff. Although I'm going to change the black packing paper to red, because sometimes people open it up and they're like, I don't actually know what's here because it's all black.
Don't open it at night and like, the box is empty.
But the other thing that people like about it is when they open it up, they actually get an envelope, white envelope with their name handwritten on it, and on the back there's a wax seal pentagram, and then they get to open it up and it's a little letter from me telling them how awesome and appreciated they are.
That's cool. I wax stamp my stuff too. I love doing that. I was chosen by heaven. Say my name when you pray. To the sky, see Doc's coffee shop rise. Okay. Doc, I want to come on your show. I need to email you, text you, message,
You
whatever.
can just show up tomorrow. He ain't got no damn guest.
Ouch. Just called him out right on the show.
Usually if Doc's got a guest, he lets me know ahead of time. So I set the show up, and, but it's like, if it gets down to the day before his show and I ain't heard nothing yet, then I'm like, hey, yo, you got a guest? I'm trying.
He said, I'll check my schedule.
Yeah.
No, that's an inside joke because Doc was like, can I come on your show? And I was like, yeah, you can come on my show. Let me check my schedule. And he was like, what? How rude, I was like, I got people booked, man. He says Rex is on tomorrow.
Rex should be your damn co-host on that show. But Tanner Hanks, okay, I guess.
So, Lucifer, you're going to be, let's see, your first show that you're going to be visiting is the end of March?
Yes, in Weymouth.
Okay.
That's a 2-day event happening over the Easter weekend. After that, I'm in Southampton for a 1-day event. And then after that, there's a 1-day event in my hometown right here. So I don't have to book accommodation. I don't have to worry about too much. I just turn up and go, all right, where's my table now? And
I need you to do me a favor, Luke. I need you to measure Nick's biceps when you see him next.
Yeah.
I need you to measure the bicep.
I can do it. Don't you worry. Well, me and Nick.
No.
Me and Nick.
Biceps of the madness, Nick.
I know who Nick is. He's been on the show, but why? Why are we measuring
the biceps of the madness, and we need to know.
Okay.
He's the British biceps.
All right.
And we've done quite a few conventions together, which is it's great for us, but for all the attendees, God, I don't know what all the screaming is about, to be honest with you.
No comment. You can be a backup host. You can come on my show, Lou, anytime. I want you to come on.
You can be my co-host on Monday Madness every Monday. You need a co-host on Monday Madness. So, Lou, if you want to do.
Oh, hey, Devil's there. Would like to know if you're ever planning on going to Netherlands for an event.
You are not the
first
person being asked from plenty of people to do an event in the Netherlands, and I would love to, because it really wouldn't be that far for me to fly there. So if the opportunity arises, you best believe I will quite happily take it. I hear it's lovely over in the Netherlands.
You can meet Q. You can meet every man. A bunch of people over there. Dave Brink, a bunch of people over there.
Yeah, that's right. There.
I thought Q was here in the U.S.
No, Q is in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
That's why his phone always goes in and out. That's why he always gets disconnected all the time, because he's on the other side of the freaking planet trying to do this with a phone.
I'm changing soon for work times. Oh, bummer.
Yes, look, I'm serious. I'm looking for a co-host for Monday Madness, 5 p.m. Eastern every week. Somebody to hang out with me and interview the guests and stuff, because sometimes I'm just wrecked. It's like, and by myself, I'm just not as good. Gotta have somebody to bounce stuff off of. That's just me, though. Laurie does this really good by herself.
I always have a guest. And then he leaves. Oh, dude. He's like, she's great by herself.
Go on, show them.
Yeah. How great you are by yourself. Very funny. Very funny. I don't mind. I like hanging out with the guests. Most of the time, I'm just like, I want to know all the things that make you tick. Let's talk about it for 2 hours.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Because think about it, most of us, we're stuck in a room by ourselves for about 25 hours a day, 8 days a week working on this stuff. So it's nice to know that the people that we are speaking to are real. They're not ghosts or anything.
Yeah, it's nice.
And then it's like it's fun for me. I don't have a problem asking questions, and it's like it's just you and me, and we're nerding out. And if people in the comment want to participate, great. But
Exactly.
if not, it's you and me nerding out, and I'm having a good time.
Exactly. We're all having a good time, and no one had to get naked for it, which is a bonus. But
No,
also
no
there is
nudity on this
still
show.
time. There is still time. Every time Pop says, "Lou, I gotta ask you something," it's like, oh, okay, but this is the last time.
Not on Laurie's show, no. No. The weirdest thing that you guys get to see is me dress up as Pikachu and smash things. That's about it.
And that's okay. Look, our skulls talk to each other, me and this guy. Okay, so
Okay.
when I first met Lucifer way back in the beginning, Lady Satan. It wasn't even Ed Gein. It was Lady Satan. It was his Lady Satan. I loved the concept. Okay, I was like, oh, this dude's out there. I'm gonna have to get in this dude's head. I got to get to know this dude because that concept was just, where'd you come up with this? And then he hit me with that Gein, and it was like, oh, it's all over. This guy's amazing as a writer. Okay. Then I start finding out about his past. Mm-hmm. Things he's gotten awards for, things he's done we didn't know anything about.
Right.
Short films, all kinds of stuff that you don't say a whole lot about. You don't drop a whole lot of links. You got to go investigate this guy. But you will be happy with the results. The more you find out about Lucifer, the more you're glad you looked into what Lucifer does.
Yeah. He's one of those like most interesting people in the world kind of deal.
Yeah.
I want to meet this guy. He sounds cool.
Sorry, are we embarrassing you?
Come over to my house. I'll introduce you, bro.
Right.
Nice. I mean, a lot of people, they get put off by me when they first meet me. So it's lovely. It's lovely in the indie comic sphere because everyone goes, "You're weird like me too."
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the crowd, and I feel you because again, suburbia.
Yep.
Housewife, right? Kids,
Yep.
School, dog, normal. So you think, and then the neighbors talk to you, and they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I bake things, stab things, and write things. What would you like to know about?" Pick one. And they're like, let's talk about baking because that's the most normal thing I do.
One of the things
But same thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I write a zombie comic book. It's a Western, and then there's undead bears. And they're like, back up. So I don't have taxidermy in my house, but people started talking to me and they're like, oh Lord.
I do have to point this out because I think this has been overlooked during this whole conversation.
Your stuff is on the
Lucifer's
list.
books are priced right, people. They are priced to sell.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You go get Lucifer. You go look at how much you're paying, and you're right there by Lucifer. Okay, It's not going to cost you huge shipping. I don't think to get from England.
It's not like my books coming from Texas.
Ridiculous shipping, but the price of the books is way down there where you can afford it too. Devil's Hair. You can get all 4 of them books all at once. Just bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Probably for cheaper than you got Zin's book for.
I mean, the single issues of Ed Gein, they're like $4 each.
$4 each.
But at the moment, issues 1, 3, and 4 are completely out of print. Issue 2 is the only one that's still in print for some fucking reason. Don't know why. The trade paperback is like $20, and you can knock out a small elephant with this thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty thick. So and I mean, like with the trade paperback, you haven't just got the story itself. You've also got, when I can find it, you've got a little bit written by me. You've got some of the original character designs from Christian in the book. We've also got some crime scene photos from the real Ed Gein in there as well. Like this one, no, not that. That one right there is one of the chairs he upholstered with human skin.
With a face?
So there's there's no face on it.
All right. I was just looking at it funny then.
But
I was like, it looks like a face.
There's loads of stuff. You get to see what some of Christian's stuff looks like with pencils before it goes into inks. You know, there's some cool little extras in there.
Glenn, you have a good point. He's like, people don't like me, like coffins, serial killers, nuisance. And I'm like, why? Perfectly normal. What are you talking about?
They sound like my kind of person, you know. Like I ask other people, like when I meet them, so what do you do? Oh, you know, I play football at the weekends. I work in a call center. What do you do? You don't want to know.
Yeah, I'm like, I could tell
you want to know, but you don't.
One of the things that I have to, it's like Lucifer, and I was first building this network and doing it's like Lucifer was one of the first people who came out and was entertaining in an interview. Okay. It was like, whoa, we can do this different. We can find people that are more animated, that are more fun, that are going to interact with the people more. And Lucifer kind of started that trend where I started looking not just to interview any old creator, but to find people that were going to bring something to the show, bring something to the network, right?
Yeah.
Dude, every time he's been on any show on our network, he has just been amazing. He's fun to talk to, fun to watch. Doesn't matter, you know. You're a good dude, Luce. Don't believe what they say, bro.
Oh, bless you. Bless you in your cotton socks. You're too kind. The check's in the mail, by the way, all right?
I
got you.
Yeah, it's the people that appear normal that you need to keep an eye on. Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they're trying to fit in because they're killing people and shoving them in the crawl space.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I go out there, they see me dressed all in black, they're pulling their children away, going, no, because he might have a funny name or something. He might do something weird like comic books, you know. But how many people with Ed Gein, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, when they were caught on the news, they said, I don't understand because he was just such a nice, normal person.
So charming.
Exactly. And that's how they got away with it.
Yes.
You know, so
oh my God. Remember, he had a dude in his car. He had a dead body, was a lady in the back seat and got pulled over by the police and talked his way out of it.
Yeah. Because serial killers are really, really fucking charming. There's a murder folk musician called Amigo the Devill. He was kind of responsible for creating the genre of murder folk. And he had like lots of weird stuff that he collected. He collected suicide notes at one point and then gave that up. And he wanted to collect letters from serial killers. And he thought the only way he could really do that is if he wrote to them. And he thought, imagine the crazy stuff they put in the letters. And he was really disappointed because most of them just gave him a recipe for apple pie.
Oh my gosh.
That's how normal they are, or they
It's
appear
weird because they're like sociopaths.
Yes, sociopaths.
They're rating as normal people.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people would say that they're psychopaths, but there is a big difference between psychopath and sociopath, and serial killers fall under the umbrella of sociopaths. Psychopaths very rarely hurt other people at all. But psychopaths also, they can't really get angry at other people. They can only get angry at themselves. Sociopaths, they get angry real
and
fucking.
They don't feel like empathy or you know what I mean? So they don't have any kind of repercussions for their actions. You just don't understand, you know? Well, Keith, can you elaborate? What do you mean? How many times did that happen with serial killers? Like collecting letters, or just curious what you were asking specifically?
Yes, I would like to know.
Yeah. Trained to be normal by watching normal people.
Yeah. It's not impossible. I mean, bear in mind, sociopathy and psychopathy are normally under an umbrella term known as antisocial personality disorder, and that's one of the cluster B personality disorders. They are the worst. So you have antisocial personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and histrionic personality disorder. And the reason why they're called cluster B is because they have so much overlap. It's very often that someone with borderline personality disorder is misdiagnosed as having narcissistic personality disorder. And it's because all of them share very, very similar traits. At one point, bipolar was considered to be a part of it, but I don't think it is anymore, and for good reason as well, because that's a mood disorder, not a personality disorder.
Yeah.
But sometimes people with bipolar can show some of the traits of like narcissism and stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's scary. Bipolar syndrome is like pretty common.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. Some of these disorders are more common than you think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Narcissistic personality disorder, which I think is one of the worst ones out there.
Yeah.
Before we had the internet, before we had social media and all that stuff, you were looking at about 3 to 4% of the world population having narcissistic personality disorder. Okay. Since social media, they've redone the studies, and it is sat at 51%.
I'm sorry. What?
And it is all linked to social media.
I believe that.
Social
It's
media has done a number on society. 100%.
Yeah, big time. Big time. It's Pandora's box, though. Once you've opened it, what can you do?
Right.
Because the moment anyone says, right, we're closing this down, 50,000 more are going to fucking pop up.
Right.
There's people every day.
You can't close it at this
Every
point.
day, someone's trying to do the next Facebook, the next
Yep.
Twitter. They want to have the next big social media. I mean, like there was one called Minds, which I think is still going. And a lot of people touted it as like, this one's going to destroy all the rest. It didn't, but it's still got a huge, huge following. So it's fucking scary. And as I've mentioned before, I think the ratio it's something like 1 in 10. So imagine you're walking down the street. Every 10th person you go past is probably a psychopath.
And there was a direct correlation between stop me. I'm the most I don't know after this conversation if I should say that. I'm one of the most normal people out there.
Yeah, be careful with those
Yeah.
words.
Leave my knives out of this. No, leave my knives out of this. Normal. Thank you. We are moving on. But what I was trying to say is like the direct correlation between social media and like mass shooters. School shooters, like young adults specifically, using social media to kind of get their agenda out and then trying to get their like 15 minutes of fame by shooting up a school. And again, it's like before social media, we had those, but they were few and far between. It's like Columbine was the first big one that was publicized because it was on the news, and then social media took off, and then then this whole phenomenon took off. I went to this weird it was for insurance, a business I was working for, and it was like you had to have a escape plan written for your business in case of a shooter incident.
I've heard about these sorts of things. And I saw a training video for a company in the US. I can't remember who it was, where it was like, okay, this video is all about what to do if someone comes in and starts shooting the place up.
Because if you don't have one and there's an active shooter, the employee that gets hurt can actually sue the business. Yeah. Even though it's like the active shooter might not be an employee, it could just be a stranger off the street just wanting whatever kind of revenge. And they just walked into your place of business. You get shot in the leg. You can you can sue your own business for not having an action plan in place, which is crazy. So I went to this insurance meeting, and they were talking about how since social media has been around, that is increased, and that it's that they use the videos that are being posted to learn and to change their tactics because they can see the police response. Yeah. And so they know to chain certain doors. They know how long it's going to take the police to arrive.
Yeah.
It's nuts. So it's interesting to me how this whole human experiment is going, where it's like we used to not be so bad, and now it's like technology has made it so much worse. So I don't know. Does the AI show up at some point and wipe us out, or
I'm not too worried about AI, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are. A lot of people are worried, like, oh, but if the AI art gets too good, then who needs an artist? Well, they need something to program that AI with, don't they? And like, I know loads of people who, when ChatGPT came out, they were like, doesn't that mean your job is redundant? And it's like, well, I'll have a play with it and see if it is, because if it is, then I need to find a new line of work, kind of thing.
Right.
So I went to it and I played about with it for a bit, and then I was like, okay, ChatGPT, here's like the set, the criteria for a horror story, write me a horror story that's X amount of words long and this, that, and the other. When it began with the words, it was a dark and stormy night, all fear went away from me.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is a fucking idiot. AI is an absolute idiot.
It's not the AI art that concerns me. I'll give you an example. They were using AI to power a robot in battle. Did we talk about this?
No, I don't think we did.
Okay. So the fuel for the robot is actually dead bodies. So it can refuel itself by scooping up a corpse, and it will break down the carbon and it can continue to function. Now, it is programmed to eat dead bodies, but they were not specific enough whose dead bodies and how did they die. So if it runs out of bodies and its prime directive is to get to a certain place so it can blow up and take down a structure, and it needs more dead bodies to get there, what's going to stop it from shooting its own people so it can get to its prime directive? See the problem?
Yeah, if it's armed. If someone's been smart enough to go,
it was meant to go into enemy territory.
Yeah.
What if it just sees a body as fuel? That's a mistake.
That is crazy.
Isn't it crazy?
Absolutely crazy to think.
These are real things.
But luckily, I don't live in enemy territory, so
thank goodness we don't.
I think I'm okay for now. If not, I'll hide in the coffin.
I don't know. Some of the rabbit holes we fall into as writers is
isn't it amazing? Like sometimes you come out of it and you're like, why did I do this to myself?
Why did I even
I need to call a therapist now?
Yeah, I'm definitely on the list for sure.
Isn't
that nightmare material for sure, Lou? I mean,
yeah, it is, because we want to portray things, even though what we're writing is it's pure fiction, it's fantasy. We still want to get a certain amount of verisimilitude in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same for artists as well. When I was drawing, like if I had to draw someone who, say, like they were having their arm cut off, well, you need to know what that looks like. And then you find out and go, why did I do that to myself? Yeah. But it's an important part of the research process, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So anyone who wants to get into horror, be prepared, because I've seen people who think like, yeah, I've got a strong stomach, I can fucking handle anything, and then they start doing the research stuff and they go, no, so I'm stepping I'm gonna do children's books,
fantasy. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to elves in the forest.
You have exactly, because you need to know what happens like during an autopsy, how it begins, how it ends, what kind of autopsy and things like that. If you're doing a scene that involves an autopsy or it takes place more, not just because you want to one day. So yeah, I got a book ages ago because I love books about writing. And I think they're very important. I think there's so many indie creators who are missing a trick by not picking up writing books. And I can understand why, because they're all focused at like, here's how to write a novel. But the information in there is just as valuable for writing comics as well. And there's hundreds and hundreds of them. And I got one that was just called Violence. And I thought, I'm in. But it was written from It was written by a writer who said he was sick of reading books that were not accurate when it came to all different forms of violence. So it's a book where he's going, here's what I've seen firsthand from my experiences, describing what happens to different people in different scenarios, and even sharing links to like videos of stuff that happens. Nothing illegal, but fucking hell, it does a number on you kind of thing. And like I said, unfortunately, it's part of the job. We're doing this dark and twisted stuff on the page so that we don't become normal and then suspect because of it.
Within the floorboards. Just kidding.
It's amazing how many people, like, they'll read like stuff of mine and they're like, my God, what skeletons are in your closet? And I'm like, if they're on the page,
they're on the page. They're not in the closet. Right.
They're okay. It's when I go, I don't want to write anymore. That's when you should be worried. Although I did have this, it was a lovely experience once. I was hanging out with a couple of friends who are like also into serial killers and stuff, but they're not into comics. And I posed them the question whilst we were having a couple of drinks. I was like, hey, if one of us turned out to be a serial killer, who do you think it would be out of us three? And they both pointed at me, and I was like, thanks, guys. Like, nice to know that you trust me. But then one of them started talking, going, you know what? If I was a serial killer, I would kill this person, and this is how I would do it. And they went into big detail, and the other one just turned around and went, can I change my answer?
Yeah, I think it's you. Yeah. And I mean, based off of what we've just talked about, they're the ones that are trying to seem normal.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
The rest of us don't care. We're living our best lives.
Yeah, of course we are.
Cool.
Of course we are.
Devil's there for sure. We cannot wait to have your stories out there. Yep.
Awesome.
Well, my friends, it is that time. We're
Already?
gonna wrap up the show. I know. Doesn't it feel like it's like 10 minutes? It's been 2 hours.
That's not on. That's not on. But don't get me started in a conversation about how time works and all that. We'll be here for another 4 hours.
Right.
And it'll feel like 5.
But thank you so much for coming back on the show. Everybody, please go check out the website. Go purchase at Gein Demon Hunter, Lady Satan. Get into these stories. They are fabulous. You will get sucked in. You will be hooked. I am. Where can people find you? What would you prefer they go to? Your website or your social media? What would you like?
Oh, the website by far. Yeah. I still need to give the website more love, but definitely go to my website, sign up to my mailing list. It doesn't cost you anything apart from, me knowing your email. And think about the stuff I've just been talking about. You shouldn't be that scared.
Don't shake your head.
Well, it's always good to see you, bro.
It's always good to see you too, Pops.
Get with me. We'll get you on, Monday Madness, one of the other shows when you get ready to play. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Don't you worry. I will.
That thing nobody knows about, that thing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like being left out of secrets.
Don't worry. You won't be left out of them for much longer.
Okay. All right. I'm okay. I accept that. All right, people. Anything else you'd like to share? Tell us where you're going to be. Anything upcoming?
Obviously, there's the conventions, the first one being Weymouth. So if you're in Weymouth in the United Kingdom on March 29th and 30th, if I remember correctly, then please come along to Weymouth and you can see me there. I will return to my YouTube channel eventually one day, but I don't know when.
Busy.
And yeah, I am indeed. And the other thing that we didn't actually cover in this is I also do tarot reading as well. Oh. Yes, so if anyone's interested in a tarot reading, you can get in touch with me. Send me an email, send me a DM.
Yeah. What? You waited until 2 hours and 8 minutes to drop that on me?
Oh, I know, right? I know, I'm the worst.
I'll let you do a reading on me live.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to arrange that sometime.
All right.
I was going to volunteer.
You can have do it on your show too.
There you go.
Very cool. All right, everybody, that is the show. Join us next week for another awesome indie creator. And remember, be awesome to each other and kiss your babies. Bye.
In a small town, unlike any other, Lisa and her husband Ray were away from home for a long time. The stress of the world brought them back to their homestead to recharge. The entire family is reuniting once again for a time of faith, food, and fun. The whole town is invited. Come join Ray and his family for the feast of a lifetime. Welcome to the picnic. Slaughterville Book 3, The Cannibal Rednecks, is a 66-page, full-color story of love, loss, and family, set in the small town of Slaughterville. Look for it on your favorite crowdfunding platform.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit